Let's go! Jaxson Dart takes a step back versus the New Orleans Saints. Or did he? We'll take a look at this, and obviously I have grown into a Dart fan. I have admitted in the past that I was probably too low on him. But let's start off with, to me, the most creative play design of this game. And this is actually the fullback / tight end Daniel Bellinger. You're thinking he is a lead fullback running through here, but he's actually where we're actually trying to throw the football. You have a vertical here, and Bellinger is actually running the corner into this space. It's really sexy play design. It's an easy throw for Jaxson Dart to make, and he is indeed able to make it. Give Brian Daboll a lot of credit, and there you go. You pretty much manufacture a touchdown on the first drive. And then what do you do on 1st and goal? Well, why not play action again? And this time you hit Theo Johnson in the back of the end zone. Open for a score. You do love to see it. Well, I don't, because I'm a Saints fan. And this obviously is where he really shines, okay? So you're trying to run something deep. You work to the backside. Nothing is there. And like we have always said about Jaxson Dart, he is a very creative runner. He is really good at manufacturing rush lanes. And you also got to give this offensive line a lot of credit, getting not one, but two good pass rushers to the ground. And that is what allows Jaxson Dart to take off and run here. It's obviously a lot harder to stop a running quarterback when you are playing man coverage, and Dart is eventually able to slide down. Here you have basically the same thing. You give the Giants offensive line a lot of credit. They started off the game good. Things did eventually fall apart. This was a fire zone where the end dropped back into coverage, and Dart, once again, he's really good at manufacturing a rush lane, and you think he is running, but he sees Slayton in the corner of his eye and throws a really good throw. Actually, that's a better catch, if anything, and Slayton is off to the races. So, obviously, Jaxson Dart, starting off this game, was really good. Some long drives, just taking what the defense gives him. You get to hear this reminds you of his preseason touchdown pass, which was also to a tight end. And once again, he works Daniel Bellinger on the skinny post. He's able to fit this in between the safety. You have a big target with the leverage advantage over a smaller corner, and that's a really good catch for the tutty. Yeah, let's get to this 2nd and 10. I am a little shocked here that he didn't just work this stop versus this corner playing way off his tight end, but he does see a rush lane open up, and it's never wrong to just take those yards. So he takes what the defense gives him, and obviously we want him to slide down here. That's not what he does, and he ends up taking a pretty big shot here. And it's kind of like the Patriots preseason game all over again. Boom. Okay. And this video got me in a lot of trouble. It's from the Mahomes Super Bowl. I never like it when my quarterback takes a hard helmet to the turf, right? I do think it really affects a QB's performance for the rest of the game, okay? And I don't know what this was about. I think I saw Bobby Skinner, probably the best Giants film analyst out there, tweet something out about that. I don't know exactly what was said there, but we get to this 3rd and 8, and Brian Breesy with the nasty spin move on the left guard. And, well, Dart's just got to hit this into the flats, and now you're just trusting Devin Singletary to make a play. That's some really good quarterbacking right there by Dart. Let's just give it a shot, and, well, he's not able to get it done. So football is an explosive play battle game. So the Saints were able to capitalize on a huge Rashid Shaheed touchdown to make it a 1-point game. Giants were mostly in control of this first half. You just got to hit this, okay? It's not as easy as it looks with a safety right here, but it's underthrown. And, well, he doesn't make the play, okay? It's just as good of a defensive back play you'll see right there. It's really good quarterbacking right here from Dart. If this is a very crowded line of scrimmage look, we want to be throwing to our hot quite a bit. So this is an off-ball backer right here, and then to the outside of this off-ball backer, it's a true defensive end in Cam Jordan. So this is some really good process of elimination right here from Dart. Let's immediately look in this direction and throw in the direction of where the pressure actually is. We just got to get this throw around Cam Jordan. That's a tough order. And guess what? He gets it to Skattebo. And, well, Cam continues his ridiculously good rookie season, making a guy miss and falling forward for these yards. It's really good running back and QB play, and you pick up a nice gain here for a first down. This is really good from Dart. You know, Alontae Taylor is one of the best blitzing defensive backs you will ever see, and it gets picked up really well. Okay, so Dart, you know, in the first half, we just saw him run when there was any kind of rush lane, when there were open receivers. This time, he actually makes the throw. You'll love to see it. You pick up a nice gain here on first down. Okay, really, really, really good stuff. And Slayton's able to make some good players miss, and it's a fumble! And now we're going the other way. Oh, my goodness. You feel bad for Slayton trying to pick up those extra yards. All right, let's get to this 1st and 10. It's the first play of the third quarter, and I'm not sure if this was a true RPO or not. You know, it just depends on how this is supposed to be read. Just based on this defensive alignment, I'm probably handing this football off if it was an RPO. It would have been very interesting. So Dart elects to throw this into the flats, and you're throwing to an athletic tight end. But these Saints DBs, even after Tyrann Mathieu retired, the safety play has been mostly good, and it's getting better. The worst type of pressure to give up is quick A-gap pressure, whether it's from a blitzer or a 3-technique defensive tackle. Okay, normally when we think of pass rushers, we think of the edge rushers, right? Cam Jordan, of course, is a future Hall of Famer. You get a little chip right here to help out with the right tackle. But Bresee was dominant in this game for the Saints. You can see that this guard is trying to stop him, and Bresee just swipes that arm away, and he's getting quick A-gap pressure. And the reason why this was important is because there was so much A-gap pressure, Dart has to throw this into the flats, and because of that, he misses Wan'Dale Robinson, who had the initial chip on Cam Jordan right here, okay? This probably has a higher conversion rate than this, but Dart had to work it out here, and Skattebo is making a lot of guys miss in this spot, but the Saints DBs did a really good job of gang tackling, and then once again, there's that guy, Demario Davis. So 4th and 1, really gutsy call right here. Man, this is good stuff. Wan'Dale around the edge, and bam. Okay, Saints have a chance to stop him short, but he's able to fall forward for the first down. And then we get to here. Okay, so look, this is going to be part of the Jaxson Dart experiment. As a play extender, Dart can make mistakes, okay? He's right here. You can live to fight another down, or you could just run this or just throw this away. So he decides to extend, and, well, ball just slips out. It's because his thigh grazed the ball, and now it's on the ground. And then, of course, there's not many guys ever you want in this spot more than Cam Jordan. 3rd and 7. You're now down by 5. All right, your defense has stepped up. They're able to, of course, make them kick a field goal. And you still have a chance to go down here and win this football game. And once again, the tight ends of the New York Giants have been really good, and they're going to continue to need to be big, obviously with no Malik Neighbors in the fold. I don't know if this was a check, but you have a defensive end here playing nose tackle. Looks more like a linebacker. And guess what? We just want to QB draw this right up the gut. They're going to play light. Let's just run with our thick QB and Jaxson Dart. So they hit Cam Skattebo on a screen, and then you get to the big play from this game. All right? So the truth is, it's Brian Bresee again, okay? This was, to me, one of the best defensive tackle performances of the NFL season. You know, he forced a fumble, And guess what? You are going the other way for a touchdown, right? That is a 10-point swing. At the very least, you're kicking a field goal. And look, there's still a lot of time left in the game, so there's no need to do that. So on the next play, they hit a bit of a Wan'Dale Robinson check down. Now you have a lot of pressure flying off the edge. It's Breesy again through the A gap. Okay, he was just too dominant. All right, he was honestly he's not as good as this player and never will be, but he was Aaron Donald in this game. So Dart throws up a prayer here on 4th and 6, and I will be honest, everything was covered. There really wasn't a whole lot he could do. And honestly, all things considered, this is a really, really, really good throw. Okay. It just gets picked, which is what we would prefer in this situation. 4th down and 3, he will never be Jaden. He will never be Jalen as runners, but the guy is so daggum creative. He is really jittery. He does a good job of manipulating rushers, and he fakes like he's going to throw it here, okay? And he cuts upfield, and he's able to pick up the first down to keep the game alive. You want to know why you miss Malik Neighbors? Because in this spot, this would probably be Malik. Instead, it's rookie Bo Collins out of Notre Dame, and he wasn't really all that great at Notre Dame. And you're running an in-breaker, and, well, he gets abused and just gives up on the route. All right? I don't know if this was supposed to be a slant or whatever, and boom. So, Dart's 2 INTs look bad on the stat sheet. So, what do we make of the Jaxson Dart performance? Now, I want this to be clear. I have done a lot of Dart film studies, and part of it is because I just love the SEC, but part of it also is that this was Brian Breesy's game. All right, one defensive tackle can completely change the outcome of a game. And look at this. Dart's having to throw off his back leg. And look at where he actually places this football. Look at this. Boom. Now, before I give you my honest thoughts on this Jaxson Dart performance, bang, there's a new way you could support Power Hour NFL, and it's with our membership programs. And guess what? To me, Jaxson Dart's worst throw in this game is one that no one is even talking about, because overall, even though there were 2 interceptions and that fumble, which probably wouldn't happen again, it is something you worry about, though, because fumbles can be a little sticky. 3 turnovers on Jaxson Dart's arm. Well, they weren't really bad. I don't think they're turnovers that you would see. One was a 4th down heave. The other was an interception where the receiver could have done a better overall job. So, obviously, I would give this a C. But if you were to look at what Spencer Rattler did in this game and you compare it to Jaxson Dart, they really weren't all that much different. Also, this Giants offensive line started off well. The Giants overall in this game started off well. It's just the big plays were made by the Saints. A fumble recovery touchdown, the Shaheed bomb, and so on and so on and so on. And then obviously defensively, this wasn't the best game from the Giants. So this would be mostly a good learning curve for Jaxson Dart. Now, here's the funny thing. You lovely Giants fans, I do have one final thing I want to share with you. Who mother freaking dat? I hope you enjoyed it, and it's Power Hour NFL. Boom! Tonight we are doing meatballs.